I think the Rams are going to win it. I thought Seattle had the best draft in the NFL. I thought Arizona and Cleveland had the second best drafts. I don't like what I see with the Niners. I did not like their draft at all. I think when you look at the Niners draft, I see Kyle Shanahan taking some reaches here to help him and not the future. He wants to win now. I didn't like the Niners draft at all, but I think Arizona can win 10 to 11 games. So my playoff picture in the NFC, Eagles, Lions, Bucks, Rams, Commanders, Bears, Seahawks.
I've been seeing a lot of things around the internet, people speculating about how good one team did versus how good another team did. But there's one in particular that I didn't really like. Colin Cowherd. In fact, Colin Cowherd believes the 49ers, they ain't going to be good this year. They actually had one of the worst drafts out of any team. So, had to jump on here. Got to talk about my favorite draft picks, the players I think that the 49ers took that can make an immediate impact year one. So, back at it, talking 49ers football. Let's get into it, y'all. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ryan Tigey, back in action. Okay, before I jump into the 49ers draft and the 11 picks that they had, I want to do a quick summary and recap of why this draft was so pivotal. As we all know, the 49ers, they finished 6-11 last year. It wasn't their best year. No playoff runs. A lot of players got injured. Kind of a typical season we've seen from the 49ers under the Shanahan era, when things just don't work out for them. It was a bad year, and our defense in particular couldn't stop the run to save their life. So when we think about it, leading up to the draft, who the 49ers were going to target and what position groups they were going to focus on, it was actually extremely obvious. Definitely the defensive side of the ball, but more specifically, defensive linemen, the boys in the trenches. And what's funny to me about the whole Colin Cowherd thing, assuming the 49ers are going to end up in 4th place in the NFC West, assuming they had all these reaches in the draft that none of their players are really going to amount to anything, I find it funny that this is the same regime, being Kyle Shanahan and Juaun Lynch, who are still here, that have a track record of draft picks. Yes, I know some of you have probably seen the tweets out there. The 2022 draft, that wasn't good. But outside of that, what Juaun Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have proven to all the faithful that's out there is, yeah, they know how to pick, specifically in the late rounds. This is the same group of dudes that drafted Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, and so on and so forth. So the fact that Colin thinks he has a better read of these players coming out of college than what Juaun Lynch and team have, it's just utterly a joke. But before I jump into my favorite draft picks, the guys I think that are going to come in and be absolute dogs that are going to make an immediate impact, let's listen to what Robert Saleh had to say in his first press conference back as the 49ers DC about what he thinks, how the draft unfolded in the process that separates the 49ers from other buildings. Let's take a listen.
You know, that was the other reason why it was exciting to come back. You know, this organization, and no pun intended, with it being the gold standard with regard to collaboration and communication. You know, most buildings maybe spend a week in terms of communication between scouting department and coaching staff with regards to the draft. This organization will spend 3 to 4 weeks just grinding on tape, offense, defense, special teams, and going deep into the 7th round, undrafted free agent type players. And I think that's why this organization has had so much success finding day 3 picks that come to fruition, and even undrafted free agents that end up having success in this league. So when it comes to finding players, this organization does a phenomenal job with collaboration, and let's be very real. Like, there's still a process that needs to be followed, and the board fell our way from a defensive standpoint. Now, you know, there's a lot of guys on offense that were graded higher than that offense was excited to go get, but they got pulled off the board, and it, you know, I was standing in the back of the room like, hey, I got a guy. but it happened the way it happened, but there was tremendous collaboration through the process.
So look, I think it's safe to say the 49ers building, they probably have a better idea than Colin Cowherd's projections. But hey, at the same time, who am I? So let's dive into now my top players from the 49ers draft that I believe are going to come in and make an immediate impact for the squad. So the first one and most obvious one, it's Mikael Williams. Yes, he was the 49ers' first draft pick at pick number 11. A lot of buzz, a lot of rumors going out there, specifically when John Lynch talked about it, that the 49ers were considering trading up to get Mikael Williams. They were worried that the Saints were potentially going to draft Mikael Williams, so they were looking to move up with the Carolina Panthers. Ultimately, none of that happened, and the 49ers got their guy according to them. But Mikael Williams, this kid is an absolute monster. At 6'5", 265 pounds, he will be rushing opposite of Nick Bosa, probably one of the best, if not the best, defensive ends. Mikael Williams, only 20 years old, is going to be able to come in and make an immediate impact. And when you look at scouts and listen to what they said, what is this kid good at? He's good at setting the edge. You know what that's good for? Run defense, as well as obviously not allowing the quarterback to get outside the pocket. But this is the way the Niners play. The kid who was the best edge setter in all of college football is now on a team whose defense, it's pivotal setting the edge. So this kid, I believe, is going to be absolute monster. I've seen some videos come out of rookie minicamp, and he is absolutely bulldozing people. Only knows 100%. Guy only knows how to go 100%, knock down a coach, help them back up. All is good there. But I just believe this kid, with how athletic he is and how young he is, this kid absolutely can be a force to reckon with. And he's someone who can immediately come in and make an impact, specifically in the run game, which the 49ers defense, they need. The second player, Alfred Collins from Texas. And I promise I'm not just going the same order of which the 49ers picked these draft picks, but Alfred Collins, I believe, can be an absolute wrecker in the trenches. The guy is 6'5", some have him at 6'6", 320 pounds. That's a big boy. And what did he do well while he was at the University of Texas? He stopped the run. We're seeing a theme here. He was an absolute run stopper. The pundits who necessarily think this kid may not pan out in the NFL, it's because he's raw. He's got to have work specifically on his pass rush. But what everybody admits, this kid is a force in the run game. If you just look at any of his highlights, any of his tape, the guy is always ending up in the backfield, disrupting the offense, and oftentimes getting a tackle for loss, which is something, again, the 49ers need. If this guy can come in and start building on his experience, he can become the anchor of the defense, since the 49ers previously had DJ Jones. This kid has a lot of potential, and I'm very excited. And I believe, again, him, Alfred Collins, will come in and make an immediate impact on this 49ers defense. The third player I'm most excited for, Juaun Jennings. He is my sleeper pick, the running back from Oregon. This kid is an absolute bruiser. When you think about the 49ers run offense, let alone the fact that most running backs under Kyle Shanahan as a running back have success, this kid runs with a reckless abandonment, and he is always pointing north and south. You never see him run out of bounds. He's not the quickest guy, but he is a physical runner. And when you just think about the current situation that the 49ers have in running back, obviously we have the offensive MVP, Christian McCaffrey, coming back, but we also have a burner in Isaac Guerendo. And then you pair that also with Juaun Jennings. Woo! Watch out, because that is a phenomenal three-headed monster that the 49ers will have coming out of their backfield. This kid is unbelievably good at running through contact. His contact balance is unbelievable. So this is the kid I'm most excited for on the offensive side of the ball, is Juaun Jennings, because I believe he can make an immediate impact for the 49ers. Now, obviously, his impact, if all pans out and everything goes well for the 49ers, he may not have the biggest role. Obviously, that's led for the great white hope himself, Christian McCaffrey. If he stays healthy, he's probably not going to get as much of a run as he would, obviously, if Christian McCaffrey goes down. But it is good to know if Christian McCaffrey, if his injury bug creeps up again, we still have a great tandem running back in Isaac Guerendo with the speed, and then Juaun Jennings coming in as the bulldozer. So I'm very excited about him. And he's coming from Oregon. You got to love when players come from Oregon. Niners have had success from drafting people from Oregon. Think Eric Armstead. Think DeForest Buckner. So nonetheless, this kid is going to make an immediate impact for the 49ers. And this time, it's on offense. Now, if I had to pick one runner-up, because you got to pick a runner-up, it would be the linebacker from Oklahoma, Nick Martin. If you want to see somebody who flies around the field, go watch his highlights. I cannot recommend it enough. This kid is the Tasmanian devil in between the white lines. I know people are getting a kick out of his press conference that he pulled up with in shark slippers, and people saying, oh, that's not the most professional thing to do. Who cares? This guy knows how to play football. And then when you think about where the 49ers need help, it's obviously what they addressed. But we did lose Dre Greenlaw. And so when you think about who's going to replace Dre Greenlaw, because the 49er fans, we have been spoiled with the tandem of linebackers the 49ers have had for the past 1 or 2 decades. You got the Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman area, and then Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Well, since Dre Greenlaw is no longer here, somebody's got to fill the void. You need to have the 49er historical linebacker duo to allow this defense to really reach its potential. I believe Nick Martin, with the way and style he plays, which happens to be very similar to Dre Greenlaw, if he can come in and perform, the 49ers might have found another guy, another dude in the middle of the defense, patrolling and ensuring their defense is felt when they're playing the offense, because that's what this whole team is about. The 49ers as a whole, the culture John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan set up, it's all about playing physical. So Nick Martin, he is the exact style of player that the 49ers typically look for, and I am super excited to watch this kid in between the white lines because he is an absolute monster. Just watch his highlights. You'll see what I'm saying. So to wrap things up, I'm very comfortable with who the 49ers drafted, where they drafted them. The people out there that are saying otherwise, if they're predicting any type of success or failure, nobody knows. Literally, listen to any scout, any coach. They say you never know how a rookie's going to do until he's 2 or 3 years in the league. So no one's going to really know. But you do know when someone comes in and makes an immediate impact and is a star. Think Brock Purdy. So I believe this was a hard reset for the 49ers defense. That's clearly the area that they attacked. They also got a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They even got some crazy returner from Montana. It's all going to be super exciting to watch, and I believe they did a phenomenal job. Versus the opposite take being Colin Cowherd of the 49ers. They're not going to be good this year. Seattle, Arizona, they're so much better. And the Rams, they just got Devontae Adams. Oh, no one's going to stop the Rams. Well, I believe the 49ers are going to go on another run this year. And it's just so funny because all these people that talk about the 49ers that don't really watch the 49ers the way you and I do, they've gotten so used to just all these dogs and players that the 49ers have had on their team. And yes, have they lost a few? 2, 3, maybe? Yeah. But if you look at the roster, offense and defensive side of the ball, this team is still absolutely loaded. If you were to put this roster on another team, their fans, their pundits, they would be going crazy with how good their roster is. The 49ers are riddled with superstars and playmakers on both sides of the ball, let alone Robert Saleh coming back as the DC leading the charge, let alone Brent Bauer coming in as the special teams coordinator. That guy, I love his attitude. He doesn't seem to play around a whole lot, and I can't wait to see how improved the 49ers special teams are. It actually seems to be like a priority this year versus other years. So I believe they are much more well-rounded heading into this season than what people are giving them credit for. So, all right, y'all, I just had to jump on here, give my 2 cents. My question is to you. Again, do you think the 49ers, with the draft class they got, they can go on another Super Bowl run? Or is it going to be another disastrous, torturous year? Let me know in the comments. I'll be back, but until my next video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me up. Peace.